session, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
A few of our drivers are part of semi racing, so they'll be racing under your guys' kind of league or team, I guess. But we
Yeah.
have got here at Amethyst Racing, we've got Adesi and Hamadir in the Alfa Romeo. So if you are, what team is your guys racing under? Mercedes, right? So
Yes.
Rasmussen and Fox Johnson are racing on behalf of Semi Racing, and Hamadir and Adesi are racing on behalf of Amethyst Racing. We've also got a few other guys in other teams. So we've got uh, Bobo, so Julian, and Spy Crab, both racing for what team's that? FWN. Jacob Horacek and Magel, I think that's how you say it.
Magell?
Racing
Magell.
for PRL. Valhalla have got End Andrews and Alu. I don't know what teams these guys are racing for.
Which team is Valhalla? And Andrews.
End Andrews.
And
Alu. So Ferrari, I think. Ferrari. Of Valhalla. And Rico SK is on his own, I believe, right?
Fox Johnson
Yes.
has something's happened to Fox Johnson.
Oh, Fox Johnson has retired.
Is he starting from last? Is he going for a last to first?
Mm.
This sounds like Alex.
Maybe he is.
But it's Agent Spycrab, whose actual name is. I was wondering if you know who he could be, Max.
I've just got word from Hamadir. His PC's crashed, so he could be inactive for the start of this qualifying session. But hopefully he'll get back in.
So at the moment, it's going to be Spycrab and Rasmussen out on their outlaps around Silverstone. We got 4 Silverstone races in a week, guys. Aren't we lucky? I get to say all the names of the corners and the straights once again. But yes, there's the Williams team being represented here by Bobo and Spycrab. Also have who are the Haas boys representing? The Hasses are for Pro Noob Racing League, which is Jacob Horak and Makel. Is that Magel? How would you pronounce that name, Max?
That's taking some processing power by the sounds of it.
Max.
I think Max might have. Oh,
I'm back, guys.
okay, he's back.
Okay. How would you
My
pronounce the
dad
Haas
was calling me,
driver?
so I'm sorry.
How would you pronounce the Haas driver's name? Magel?
Michael, actually.
Michael. It's Michael. Okay, it's a lot easier than for. And we have a Spycraft has spun through the loop on the exit of the loop onto Atria. Hopefully he moves out the way. The car's coming up, and he hasn't. As there's contact between Spycrab and Michael. He will not be happy about that. The other car, though, on lap currently is Rasmussen in the Mercedes. It's something we haven't seen before. As he comes through Aintree now, and then on to the Wellington Straight. He's the first car now on lap with Spycrab having a big moment. So Rasmussen will be setting our benchmark lap to go by. Coming now through the exit of Luffield onto Woodcote and then on to the old pick straight. And then next up is going to be Cops. Can we expect to see some big high racing action through Cops as Rasmussen goes extremely wide and invalidates instead? So he will not be setting our benchmark time. It now falls to Bobo. Bobo now coming through the back straight, and we looking to not make the mistakes that Rasmussen made up ahead as he keeps it in between the white lines. So Bobo now coming through Maggots and Beckett's. The first part of Maggots and the second part of Maggots, no problem at all. Now it's the second part of Beckett's. Beckett's smoothly, a little bit of grass there on the exit of Chapel there, and he'll go onto the hanger straight. And a big drive down towards Stowe. Hamid has fixed his PC. He's on an outlap. But now it's Bobo coming through Vale. Last two corners now, the double right-hander club. First part, no problem at all. Swings it out nice and wide through to the second part. And our fastest lap currently is a 1:27.7 for Bobo.
I would just like to point out we've got a few followers coming in. Irma and Musa Omega Lol. Thank you for the follows.
As here we have Jacob Plack coming round. He's invalidated though, so he will not be setting a competitive time here. And it's instead going to be Alu coming now through Maggots and Beckett's onto the hanger straight. Let's see what he's able to do here. Hanger straight time. He's gone purple sector 2, so it's a highly competitive lap possibly. Coming round Stowe now. You want to get as much as curb as you can, as long as you don't overrun it. Now through Vale. No issue through Vale. Just the double right-hander club to go. Nice and easy through there. And Alu goes 5/10 faster than Bobo. But Michael beats Bobo as well, even with that contact that happened earlier. And the next is going to be a Desi, only setting a 1:27.9. So the next up to come through is a Williams of, not Spy Crab, that's Bobo coming back into the pit. So it's going to be a Red Bull of Vasilev is on an out lap, ignore me. So it will be, I believe, Hamadir next to come around the start-finish line, as he's now just come out of Stowe here. He's got yellow flags ahead. Quite ahead. But Hamadir with one corner to go. Puts it P2 with a 1:27.4. And then it's going to be Rikos, who goes P5 with a 1:27.8. And next to come round for us then will be trying to work out who is on the lap. It will be Vasilev, who is currently setting a purple sector 1, Max. How do you feel about some of these guys' chances?
I've seen Vasily racing before, and I think he's really hot competitor for pole position here. He's being very fast. This lap is looking really good.
As he's coming through Maggots and Beckett's now, the nice flowing section. Let's see, is he able to keep the car in control? Looking good. Out onto the hanger straight he comes, and it's going to be a swooping right-hander of Stowe next for him. Comes through Stowe, no issue at all. And it leaves
Another
only
yellow flag.
It's for probably a slow-moving Alfa Romeo coming into the pits, but Vasily puts it P4.
Only P4.
And his teammate, how would you pronounce that name?
Spacek.
Spacek is P2. Yeah. So at the moment it's Ferrari P1, who are Valhalla Racing. Valhalla in P1. Red Bull are, you'll probably know which team they're representing.
I don't know, to be honest. I can find it.
Red Bull is FRR Racing.
Yeah.
So FRR currently P2, P4, Hamadir for Amethyst Racing in P3, and then the Haas for Pro Noob Racing of Michael in P5. Bobo, who is representing FWN, is in P6, and then the McLaren representing SRL is in P7. Adetsi, the last of the 8 to set a time there for Amethyst Racing. So currently Fox Johnson, even though he's retired right at the start, isn't going to be starting last. And the next car for us will be in P12, the Ferrari of Machet.
Monk's pointing out that the Ferrari isn't Valhalla, it's Virtual Racing League. It's not Valhalla.
Oh, too? I haven't realized it too.
Virtual Racing League, not Valhalla. So Virtual Racing League with the P1 currently as things stand. I was gonna throw out a big word and my mouth just couldn't function for it. But here we go. We got how would you say is it Matcha?
Yeah.
Matcha now starting his lap. He's going through the loop now and then on to Aintree. No issues. A little bit of a snap actually on the exit of the loop. Possibly lost a tenth or two of that. But it's still purple. So it's now going to be through Brooklands and Luffield. No issue there. Runs it nice and wide right on the line as he now comes through Woodcote. And then it's Cops running it nice and tightly. As it appears like the two Alfa Romeos ahead may have given one another a tow. But we're going to stay on board with Matcha here on lap. He goes purple sector 2 as well. But watch your timing boards as I've been debated. But it's now Matcha coming through Stowe with 3 corners to go. It's going to be Val, the tricky left-hander. Make sure not to get too much curb. And then the double right-hander of Club takes a little bit of sausage curb on the entrance and the exit. He's really pushing here. And he puts it P5. And then the next run on lap, I believe, is going to be Bobo now coming through Stowe. He's up 5 tenths. So this is looking like a much more competitive time for Bobo. Bobo now through Val. And then it's going to be the first part of Club. Swings it, not taking the sausage curb there. And then Bobo now with your new fastest lap time. Right on the cusp of the 126s. But we then have a Haas behind him. And it's going to be, how would you pronounce that guy's surname?
Horace.
Haracha.
Yeah.
Putting it P4.
Czech names are hard for you.
Some are, yeah. Learning new surnames is a challenge. But the next car coming up on lap is not Hamada. It's going to be a Desi. As Rutherford and Spycrab are still yet to set a time. A Desi is invalidated though, so it's going to be the Ferrari of Alu looking to put it back, reclaim his pole position. One last corner for him. And it is faster, but it's not enough to beat Bobo. And it's going to be Hamadir next. And Hamadir goes under the 127 mark. He's into the 126s. Hamadir is currently on P1. And then it looks of it, it's going to be Spacek coming through now. It's going to be on Club, the second part of Club to come. And he improves, but doesn't improve position. And Vasily isn't going to be, I believe, is starting a lap. So Vasily will be starting his lap. So right now, is anyone on a lap? Run back. Is a Desi on lap? A Desi has improved and he's invalidated again, though. Can we expect a lot of track warnings coming up? So it's going to be Vasily coming now through the Wellington Straight. And it's purple sector 2 for Vasily. And he is up on his purple sector 1. So, and he is up 2 tenths on his time currently. And now coming through Cops. No issue through Cops. Keeps it now. And it's going to be Magnussen Beck. It's a nice flowing section. As he's going to come now. It's going to be Chapel next. And he's going to be onto the Hanger Straight.
It's a purple sector as well there for Vesley.
He's looking very fast here now. As he's going to swing it into Stowe.
I wonder if we're about to see another sub-27 come in from the Red Bull driver.
Just got to make sure he hooks up Club. His car looks a little bit twitchy though going through it. But it's the fastest lap actually for the Red Bull driver.
26.8 as well. It's
rapid.
yeah. So at the
Said
moment,
my favourite word.
FRR topping off the leaderboard here in qualifying. 3 minutes to go. I think we're going to see a few people hanging back in the pits until the last few minutes. And,
Very true. As
trying to get
I
the best
think
track conditions.
Spacek might be on lap as
Nah, he's
the
backed out.
McLaren
He's
has
backed
left.
out.
He'll be hoping for a very quick in and out then from the pits, and his teammate might hold him up here.
Also,
Will the Red Bulls?
I think that Vesely is done for the session. I don't think he's going to manage to get into the pits and back out again. So,
I don't think either can.
no, I think Spacek might go for a double lap here. Might be doing a double out lap.
Possibly.
But I think if he doesn't, then Rasmussen's going to be the next one to set a lap time.
Rasmussen can't be on an out lap.
No, he's going to be the next one to set a lap time after this guy.
Oh yes, he's the first on the track, but everyone now starting to come into the pits. That could cause traffic for Rasmussen.
So Spacek isn't going to get another lap in.
No,
Either
not with
Red Bull driver is going to get another lap in. So it could be FRR out of this qualifying session, but
they're currently holding P1 and P3 as things stand. So unless others can improve, which there definitely is pace out there on the track, as Rasmussen has invalidated and won't be setting a time.
oh no.
Oh dear, oh dear. Max, you can't be happy about that.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to see this. Semi racing almost last two.
I believe the next person on the lap is going to be Julian Bobo, currently P4. Was on provisional pole a little bit earlier on in the session. He's apparently 7 tenths up, but I don't think he'll be 7 tenths up by turn 2 or 3. So
I think that is EA being EA.
yeah.
But Bobo now coming onto the Wellington straight. Nicely through the first sector. 200ths up. 2.25 thousandths. So there, he is finding time. Is it going to be enough to leapfrog anyone in the standings, though, for this?
Remember, he's only got to find a 10th and a half here to put himself on provisional, but he's actually backed out. You can see the light flashing at the back of that Williams, signalling that he's either turned his ERS off or he hasn't got enough left to complete the lap.
Did he leave it on?
Maybe.
On his outlap, which is going to be detrimental, as the track is getting very busy towards the start-finish line. They've only got 30 seconds to get around, though.
I think the next one to go along is going to be Spy Crab. He's Bobo's teammate, representing FWN here.
Rasmussen Rasmussen has enough time for another lap. Rasmussen can have another shot at this.
That is true. Is Bobo warming up for another lap, maybe? But I think you might want to switch to Spy Crab, as he is going to be the first one to set the final lap in this qualifying session. As he comes through Maggots and Beckett's. What
keeping it clean.
Sequence of corners that is. Spacek and Rico both done for this qualifying session.
And Spy Crab here now opens the DRS, going down the hanger straight one last time and then into Stowe.
Car absolutely on the limit of what it can do through there as he comes down into the braking zone now.
Through Vale he comes. Now the double right hander club. He's going to keep the car nice and stable.
Puts himself up into P5, just behind his teammate. Next to come across the line is going to be Jakub Hocek, and he stays P7 as Adesi goes up to P6 now.
And next it's going to be Michael.
Yeah, Michael, then Hamadir.
Michael will be looking to put it on. He does improve, but not enough. Next is going to be Hamadir. Hamadir doesn't improve.
With another sub 27, but it's not enough to beat Vesely and his time, as Alu, representing Virtual Racing League in the Ferrari, puts it on pole position here in qualifying the last minute. What can Rasmussen do? Goes up to P11 and puts Rico in the McLaren down into P12.
But we've still got Bobo, but it doesn't look like he's improving. He's got one last corner to try and make a little bit more time. And Bobo didn't improve.
No. So there you are then. That is qualifying done here.
Fox Johnson starting from the back.
Yeah, Fox Johnson, I think just retiring at the start of the session. I'm not sure if it was a game glitch or intentional. I'm pretty sure it'll be intentional.
I have a feeling it's intentional. We know how much he likes this race. He's probably going to go from try and do a last to first, like a absolute lunatic. But there we have the standings from qualifying. A second separating anyone who set a lap. So it's a nice, tightly bunched field here. I'd like to point out the top three, less than a tenth.
Everyone from Amethyst is failing us right now.
I didn't say that.
I think Hamadir on the second row is not a bad contender for his race. We know he's usually quicker in the race than he is in quali, so let's see how he can do around here. He's had a bit of bad luck here in the last 2 seasons at Amethyst, but maybe he's looking to claw it
what
back.
I'm
Yeah,
being
we are
told,
starting new lobby, so
there
we
is a
can
new
leave
lobby
this.
coming.
A new
So
lobby.
Yeah.
if we can go to an intermission.
We can.
I just hope Fox can set the lobby up correctly.
Same.
Make sure he gives everyone their correct positions. Is the hope. As now, we wait for the lobby to be remade.
Yeah, with the times being that close in qualifying, it's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be like in the race.
Very much so. I'm used to being the one who has to set up the lobby, so I have no idea what it's going to be like just waiting.
Did we get a screenshot of the results?
I didn't get a screenshot, but I pulled it. Is Fox Johnson asking for it?
No.
I have it if you
You
need
have
it.
it.
If you could put it in the chat, I would. It would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
There is a lobby restart, I believe, because a few people are joining. Are they?
Possibly?
Yes.
So I think we're going to have a few more people joining the session. It makes the race even more spicy.
Oof. Some people starting from the back.
Oh, and also someone picked up a 5th-place penalty in the qualifying session. I'm not too sure how or why, but yeah.
Alright, I've been given the invite. I'm gonna drive it, boys. I heard we need an extra driver. I'm not gonna drive it. I'm driving tomorrow here. I do not want to drive it more than once. Is it meant to be on dynamic or sunny?
Dynamic.
You might need to tell your boy because he's got it on sunny.
Oh, sheesh.
Naughty, naughty man.
starting on. He's got one side of the car on hard tyres and one side of the car on softs.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it won't surprise me this game.
You'd put the softs on the inside of the car and the hards on the outside, or the other way around?
I don't know. I'd put the hard tyres on the left hand side of the car because it's a right hand, like a clockwise circuit. But here we go. For fire red
No
lights.
formation lap. And here we're going to go.
It's a bit foggy out. And there they go. Clutches away and foot to the floor as they all go down into turn 1 now. And it is going to be Ali leading them into turn 1, closely followed by Vesely, keeping his P2 position. There's a lot of movement going on further down the pack. A few Hasses squabbling for position with Machak.
Oh, they're 4 wide coming through to the loop further back. As Spy Crab's up into P6 and Bobo has lost the most places. And there's yellow flags out for someone.
It's Spacek. Spacek's had a spin, I believe. And the exit of turn 5, I think that is.
On Aintree.
Aintree, yeah.
But it's going to be Alu leading with Vasily third. And then it's going to be the Alfa Romeo pairing in P3 and P4. Machek in P5. Bobo's got himself back into P6. And Spycrab seeming to have some issues. He's being bullied off by both the Hasses. As the Williams and the Hasses are really squabbling here. And it's allowing Fox Johnson to sneak it up the inside of Cops.
Yeah, giving him the squeeze there onto the outside curb, but gets the move done up into P9 for Fox Johnson. As Hamadir and Adesi now rejoined in the second row, 3rd and 4th for the Alfa Romeo drivers. As Spy Crab is getting bullied out there. As there goes Fox Johnson flying past Julian Bobo. He's going to get swamped here by his teammate Rasmussen. Also going alongside Julian Bobo into Stowe now. And he's going to get the move done. The Williams here just seems to be plummeting down the order. They keep getting absolutely bombarded by the guys behind him, as both Mercedes now up into the top 10. And Rico and Agent Spycrab having a little squabble now for the P11 position. I do believe Rico has got ahead of Spycrab. Spycrab falling down the order at the moment.
And Spacek is caught right back up to the back of this scoreline pack. And he's back in contention now after that spin. But it's going to be Alu who's still leading Vasily with Hamadir already outside of the DRS. But the tyre choices are very different between drivers here. As you see, the Hamadir and the Desi have gone for hards, whereas the front two have gone for medium. So let's see if this tyre strategy is going to pay off for who.
Yeah, and as we know, the tyres around here have a big effect on how fast these guys can go around the track. With the two medium runners pulling away from the hard runners of Adesi and Hamadir, who haven't decided to split their strategies, but they're going to have Machak for Virtual Racing League closing up on them on those medium tyres within DRS now. And there's going to be a bit of a DRS train forming from Hamadir all the way down to Fox Johnson, and maybe Rasmussen if he can pick up his pace a little bit.
It'll be the Austrian Express once again. We haven't had that since Bahrain. But as you can see there, all the cars weaving through. It looks like someone was very close on the back of something. It looked like it might have been Spycrab on the back of that McLaren. He's closing in as well down the straight.
Yeah, these two on the same tyres. I think this is going to be a pretty big DRS train. I think all the way down from Hamadir, we might see a big DRS train forming here, just like we see in actual F1 esports, if these guys keep it clean throughout. As Ali sets the fastest lap now, the 1:30.4, showing that he has the pace to keep the lead of this race. With a 5:10 gap now to Vesely in the Red Bull.
And DRS has now been enabled, and Vasily is still hung onto the back of Alu here. The front two have pulled a nice solid gap over Hamadir on the hards in P3.
Yeah, I feel like for these first 2 laps, it's going to be hard for the hard runners to keep up with the medium runners just with the no DRS, and I think that is proved with Hamadir's gap now. But with Vesely, that these mediums are working well in this early start of the race. And
Rasmussen is outside of DRS and Fox Johnson, so we might get 2 separate trains forming here.
Very possibly, unless Julian can get past him and manage to keep within DRS of Alex.
Julian on the hards, Rasmussen on the mediums. Rasmussen has caught back up through the winding sector 2 of Brooklands into Luffield, where the mediums will definitely fill in the most. But meanwhile, it's Spycrab and Rico who are battling it out for P11 further down the order. And has really pulled the Red Bull of Spacek back into play here. As Rico goes on to the grass there.
I think he might have had a bit of a problem rejoining the track as well. And I think he lost traction and spun round. So
He did.
McLaren
But
spinning out of the back, but here goes Spacek down the inside at Stowe. Is he going to make a move? Not quite. He has to back out of
he
it.
thought about it. That was very good pull-out game, though. We almost saw a coming together, and I don't think the Red Bull would have come off very well from that sort of contact.
No, but it has cost Spycrab a 1.5 second gap to the back of his teammate now, falling out of that DRS train all the way down, currently from P3 on the field.
And Fox Johnson here is all over the back of that Haas of Harach there. So it's going to be very close to see if Fox Johnson's able to make anything sticky. He'll have the DRS, but so will the medium runners ahead. But
Yeah.
Fox has already carved his way through half the grid.
Yeah, but I think he's got to focus on getting these exits right, because he's not going to have the grip on on those tyres to overtake through the corners just yet. So if he wants to move up the grid this early, he's got to make sure he gets these exits down and gets the DRS and the battery using to its full potential.
The front two have a noticeable gap now over the rest of the pack, though. So the front two on the mediums will be looking to really stretch the legs. Maybe this is where they work together. But Fox Johnson gets a massive run out of Cops, and he's ahead before Maggots and Beckett's here. So Harkak will be looking to maybe catch back up to him on the hanger straight. He will have the DRS to do so, but Fox Johnson makes another move count there and the exit of Cops.
Yeah, Fox Johnson flying up the order at the moment, and Vesely and Alu keeping with between the 5 to 6 tenth gap between them both. But they're
Possibly
both up in strong positions, and those two teammates being so close to one another means they can work together and try and help each other to gain up towards the end of this race when they're on the faster tyre.
Fox Johnson just set the fastest lap on them hard tyres. So he's really feeling his car right now. As he's solidly within that train. As Bobo picks up our first 3-second penalty of the race for corner infringements and going too far over the lines. Go back to the leaders though, as the Red Bull just not able to make enough inroads with that DRS to catch up to the back of Alu.
Yeah, not much happening up at the front at the moment. I think Alu's doing all he can just to stay consistent and try and look after his tyres as much as he can without leaving himself vulnerable to the Red Bull behind. And Hamadir and Desi and that train falling off the back of him just more and more each lap.
The Michael in the... Oh, that's 3 seconds for Fox Johnson already. That's not going to be very good for him.
Yeah, considering these guys are from P3 to P9, or sorry, P3 to P8, all within a second of one another, it could be pretty costly towards the end of this race if they stay this close.
Michael is starting to lose the back of Maciek though. He's going to be outside of the DRS, so maybe third through to fifth can start pulling away from the Haas pairing. With Fox Johnson in a Haas sandwich, it won't be very good for Fox Johnson's chances. He's going to have to dispatch the Haas's and try and catch up to the back of that train if he wants to keep within a shout with that 3-second penalty lingering over his head.
Yeah, another thing to point out as well is these guys on the mediums within the midfield need to start making an impression on these guys on the hards, otherwise their strategy is not going to pay off. You've got to think these guys on the hards are going to be on the faster compound at the end of this race. And they have to do the work now to try and defend from that.
The undercut and the overcut are both suitable options depending on if you can get that clear air in front of you though. We've seen both of them work in Tier 1 and Tier 2 for ourselves. And let's see if any of these drivers have got anything planned for an undercut or an overcut possibly on their rivals. As Vasily is actually caught up to the back of Alu a little bit here.
Yeah, back within that 5/10 gap, but he seems to be running maybe a little bit less downforce than the Ferrari ahead, as he loses a bit of time through Magnus and Beckett. So let's see how he can hook it up this time around though. Into the left and the right, back into another tighter left-hander as he straightens it back out at the exit of this corner to go down the hanger straight. And
he's lost a bit of time though. And he's only going to make it up on the straights. I would like to point out though, you were talking about the medium runners having to do something, and Maciek is looking to make a move on a daisy here, as he's a lot closer than he has been for a while now. But he's just, with the DRS assistance for Desi, he's not able to get past him on the hanger straight or make a move into Doe. So he's once again stuck behind the Alfa Romeo pairing.
Yeah, and of course, the longer he's stuck behind these guys, the more wear his tyres are going to incur compared to the hards. So his pace advantage isn't going to last much longer over these hard tyres, as the tyre wear around here can be pretty brutal.
Spacek has just made a move on Spy Crab down the Lewis Hamilton straight. Spy Crab trying to hang it around the outside. Will maybe look to make a move on the outside of Village, or maybe get a nice little switchback through the loop onto Aintree. He's looking for a better exit here. He's on the hard compound compared to Spacek's medium, so he'll definitely be feeling the tyres more, Spacek, and he's really suffering from that early spin. He's qualified in P4.
I want to point out there's a battle for the lead going on right now. 3/10 this time around between Vesely and Alu. So Vesely may be holding back a little bit in this early stage of the race, but he's now going full push on here on lap 7 to try and close up to the Ferrari as we head through Magnus Beckett for the 7th time.
Seconds. They got 3 seconds over the guys ahead, and Desi is starting to drop off the.
Oh! Vesely's lost it! Vesely has lost it on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's. He's going to drop down maybe into P8.
That was a very big spin for Vesely through Maggots and Beckett's. That's going to be very costly for him. And now Alu is once again safe from any harm. But Maciek is all over the back of Adesi here now. He's very close between the pairing. As Bobo and Rasmussen are battling it side by side into Vale. Bobo at the inside line, but will be on the outside through Club. And we look to see Rasmussen appear on our screens, and he's still ahead with Spacek right behind the pairing of them now. We've got a 4-man train forming behind Rasmussen now.
Yeah, Rasmussen not quite on the pace with his teammate today, considering he's on the faster tyre, but he's doing the job to keep himself within the top 10 right now. And maybe looking to take advantage of a few penalties later on in this race, as we've got a few counting up now with Fox Johnson with a 3-second, Horacek with a 3-second, and Julian, who is currently trying to make the move round the outside. Here we go into Luffield. Not quite managed to make the move stick. Brooklands, sorry.
And now it's Luffield. He didn't get the move around. And Spacek, meanwhile, on the mediums, we very enjoying this battle ahead, because it's definitely slowing them down. As Alu, and the gap between Hamadir and Alu is maintaining a solid 3.2 seconds. But Bobo got a massive drive out there. He's all over the rear as there's Michael's spun. The Haas has spun, and it brings out a safety car. There's a big crash on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened there. Maybe in a similar kind of fashion to what we saw happen to Vesely a few laps later, but this does bring Rico back into it. Or Rico, sorry.
Rico can see. He's lost it on the second part of the Beckett's part and just gone straight into the wall.
Yeah, I wonder if it was a similar kind of thing we saw with the Red Bull. But this is going to aid maybe the medium runners. Hamadir's into the pits. Hamadir is coming into the pit lane on the hard tyre.
The Ferraris are double stacked.
What is Hamadir going on to? Hamadir's going on to the mediums.
Ooh.
And we've seen Hamadir try a few dodgy strategies, I'd call them, in our league before. But he does make these tyres last. He's pretty good at making tyres last the distance. But mediums around here.
Up there again. Fox Johnson P2, Adesi P3, Desi P1, Fox Johnson P2, Bobo P3, Spy Crab P4, and then everyone else is pitted or gone out of the race, sadly, for Michael.
Yeah, just Rico and Spy Crab and Julian all staying out outside the top 2. And it'd be interesting because these Williams now have committed to the strategy, but they're both out right next to one another, so one of them might be compromised by that.
Spy Crab would probably be the one compromised, if anything, because he's going to be the one, if they do double stack, affected by it the most.
Yeah, another thing to point out is Adesi staying out on the hard tyre. We know he's got great pace. I mean, he was up there with his teammate the entire opening stint of this race. Can he somehow defend Alu off to help Hamadir out in this race, or even just hold this train up and slow everyone up to try and maybe allow some overtaking opportunities throughout the lap?
This safety car has really helped the hard runners who were further back in the train and lost touch with the leaders, because it's pulled them right back up. And also it's really done Spacek flavours after his lap 1 spin, because he's now on the back of this train but on fresh hards.
Yeah.
I believe the hards can last. I'm not sure about Hamadir's mediums.
Oh, Adesi and Johnson both into the pit
And
lane.
Bobo.
And Bobo. So these
Bit
guys
of mind games.
trying to go for the fresher mediums, but they're going to surely fall back right to the back of this pack now.
They will, but that was a lot of mind gaming going on there. Very last minute stuff from all three of them.
It's very
So now
interesting, though.
Spycrab leads us out now. And Fox Johnson's onto fresh hards.
So he's
Because
gonna
you
have
can
to
choose
pit
your tyre
again.
choice now. You can choose your tyre choices in the pre-game lobby.
But surely he's going to have to pit again. So he's
He's
going to
gonna
try and
have
go
to pit
softs at the
again.
end.
Is he expecting another safety car, possibly?
I don't know, but it's a big gamble.
It's a bold move. We have the owner of SR Semi Racing here. How do you feel about Fox Johnson's strategy to go for a second set of hards?
To be honest, I'm not sure what Alex is thinking, but I think his plan is to go on softs in the end of the race.
But
Yeah, I think softs are going to be his only call right now, because I don't think it would make sense for him to go onto mediums unless he's going to plan to make a pit stop at the end of this lap. But half the safety car would have to not come in.
yes,
Which I think it
and
will
I'd like to point out you lose 30 seconds on the race pace in Silverstone in the pits.
Yeah, it's a big pit lane. And yeah, I think the only viable reason to pit, and I think that's probably why we saw everyone come into the pits, because they knew this is their only opportunity to get a free pit stop, and it's so costly just to make a normal pit stop around here that they might as well take the opportunity now. But I don't think going on to the same compound tyres is the right way to go here. Even if there is another safety car, he's still going to surely be at the back of the pack with the pace these guys had and the train we saw forming.
Very big gamble from Fox Johnson. We're about to be told now as the safety car is coming in. And it is. The gamble has not paid off if that was the plan he had in place.
Yeah, but Spycrab is going to be the one leading us out in the Williams, as Machak has left the session in P4.
In P4.
I wonder if we'll see him join back shortly, but that might cause a few problems for the likes of P5, P6.
I have them added, so if required, as someone's picked up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with the McLaren, but it's going to be Spycrab, the only car not to come into the pits so far, other than Rico in P5, leading us out here.
Yeah, let's see. Can he get away? Rasmussen's into the pit lane.
He's shot into the pits. That's a bold move from Rasmussen.
But here we go. Spycrab's going to be looking to get on the power right about now, and there he goes. Gets a good restart. Alu's going to be hungry to try and get in the lead of this race once again.
There's lots of battling side by side.
Oh, Alex Fox Johnson trying to go around the outside of two cars at turn 1. He's having to take to the runoff. He's going to have to make sure he rejoins them safely here. He doesn't make any contact with these guys flying past now into Village. Oh, and there's a big contact. There's a spun McLaren.
And we just caught the contact there.
Oh my god, this is carnage.
So Fox, that was insanity. There was Bobo losing his front wing, Rico losing his front wing. I wonder if anyone else picked up damage. Rasmussen avoids all the damage.
I don't know, but there's a big battle going on at the front right now with Alu and Hamadir. Just 2 tenths between the two. Is Hamadir going to be looking to make a move down the hanger straight this lap maybe with those faster compound tyres now on the Alfa Romeo? Alu may be struggling with a difference in tyre grip on these hard compound tyres now, but he will not be giving up. He'll be looking to win this race. He was having a commanding lead over this guy earlier on in this race, but that safety car has neutralised everything. But Spycrab putting in an absolute shift right now. 6 tenths to Alu on the much fresher hard compound tyres, and is not looking to concede any of that back to him.
And Alu holds off Hamadir for the first lap, and Spycrab still not into the pits here. He's going to probably look to take them hard as long as he can now. That surely be the only play. Hold up as many of the cars as you can and put yourself back into play.
I think he's going to be either hoping for a safety car, and if it doesn't come, he might hang on to the softs at the end of this race. But yeah, he's putting in the work right now.
The 3 drivers of Bobo, Clark, and Rico have all come into the pit. Hamadir is able to take a much tighter line through Village there, and he's onto the loop now. So Hamadir definitely feeling the benefits of them hard, but gets a little bit of snap, possibly in the dirty air, and Vasily is coming right onto the back of the 3.
Yeah, it's hard to make a move around here without the DRS being activated, and of course it's going to be deactivated for 2 laps after that safety car period. But Hamadir is pushing him through these corners, but just no overtaking opportunities arising for him.
If this was NASCAR, you'd expect to see a little bit of bump drafting going on.
Oh yeah. Well, with all wall riding, as we've seen this year.
Yes, we have seen a bit of wall riding as well. But it's going to be Spycrab leading us through Maggers and Beckett, with Alou being in hot pursuit and Hamadir all over his tail as we get some beautiful camera angles.
I just don't think Alou's taking too well to those hard compound tyres. He doesn't seem to have the pace that he had earlier on in this race. And Spycrab is commanding him at the moment. He's keeping that gap a couple tenths.
Went down there though. The gap did go down quite a bit there. So maybe Spycrab's now starting to feel the difference in the tyre wear. Alou possibly was struggling to get his tyres up to temperature, but now they're up. And the DRS is now open. Spycrab could be at the mercy of the F1 gods, as a Desi further back is just at the fastest lap as well. We're about to have a train from Spycrab all the way down to P5 of a Desi.
But Hamadir is keeping that pressure on the Ferrari right now. He's under his rear wing nearly every corner we go through. Just can't find the opportunity, but is it going to arise now? I do believe DRS is reactivated. Let's find out as we head down.
It is, but they both get it, as we don't get a nice camera angle. Oh, Hamadir did eye out and have a look at it for a second.
Having a look down the inside, nothing availing. He's going to try and take a wider line to give himself a tighter, more clean exit of this corner.
Oh.
He's pushing him through on the exit of that corner, down the old pit straight. Now we go into Cops corner. I don't think...
Spycrab are gaining from this. Spycrab almost a second on Alou now. So these two squabbling for P2 is really helping Spycrab out. And he's going to really want to extend that gap.
Yeah, Hamadir is hungry for that P2 or net P1 position as we head down the hanger straight once again, both with the DRS still, but only just for Alou. He's just slightly keeping in within that 1 second mark as we head down.
Vasily with the fresh hards is back in this as well now, only 3 tenths behind Hamadir.
Yeah, Vasily's keeping up these guys on the hard tyre, yeah. But he has got that penalty now.
He's putting them hard to work. Spycrab's really putting them hard to work because he's still maintaining that gap as best as he can.
Hamadir for the win, says Rory Bates with the resubscription with his Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. I think that's Twitch Prime. Was that Twitch Prime? No, it wasn't Twitch Prime. It was just a subscription. Thank you very much. 8 months now. Rory has been subscribed.
Alou did get the DRS. So Spycrab not able to make that second gap where it counted, and it's going to really help put the Ferrari into position. But Hamadir is still all over the back of the Ferrari. It's very close stuff.
But there is that treasured 1 second that Spycrab has been looking for. He has now got 1.1 seconds to the Ferrari, but look at how much gain he gains down the straights. 1.1, 1.0 again now. Is he going to manage to keep within that 1 second? Through Maggots and Beckett's we go.
Here we go. I don't think he's going to have the DRS, which leaves him a little bit susceptible to Hamadir on them mediums.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Let's see, does it open? It doesn't open. Hamadir is now... Alou doesn't have the DRS to defend from the Alfa Romeo on the mediums. He's looking to make a move up the inside of Stowe.
Dominic Hamadir up the inside of Stowe. He's going to head down the hill into Vale ahead of the Ferrari and up into P2. The net race lead of here in the British Grand Prix. And he's just got a Williams on 13 lap old hards now ahead of him. And Vesely may be eyeing up the Ferrari. He seems to have better pace on the hard compound tyres. What can he do?
Really isn't liking them hards, as Hamadir has already got into the DRS of Spycrab on the old hards. So now the mediums might come into play here. Hamadir's going to have to drop off these two behind him though, because his mediums surely aren't going to last compared.
Yeah, so he's going to have to try and pull out as big as a gap as he can right now. But he has got back in the DRS of the Williams, which is going to assist him to stay ahead of these guys down the straights. As we've seen how fast Alou is down the straights here at Silverstone.
Fox Johnson in P6 at the moment, but he still has to pit again. He's only done 2 hard stints.
And he's got a 4.4 second gap to a Desi ahead of him on the mediums.
I'd like to point out Spycrab is absolutely bolting it on them hard tyres still.
Yeah, we can see that red light at the back of his car now flashing away, signalling that he's going to be running out of ERS anytime soon. And Hamada will be looking at that and
very
grinning as he heads down the hanger straight once again, and will be getting that DRS assistance. Is he going to try and make a move this early on? I think he's a little bit too far back at the moment. But you can see in the background there, Vesely closing up to the back of Alu. It's currently FRR versus VRL here for P3 on track. But Vesely nursing that 3-second penalty as well. You've got to remember, he's going to have to play that into consideration.
He is. As Spire Crab's gap has suddenly diminished.
Maybe Hamada taking a lap or so to regain a bit of battery. But Vesely is pushing the Ferrari through the village section here.
It's very, very close between the two of them. Alu getting a slightly better exit onto Aintree, but the DRS, they've both got it, but no doing for Vesely yet. Alu having the DRS assistance is really putting a dampener on Vesely's chances of getting past him currently, as Hamadir is all over the back of Spycrab now. Spycrab's hards will be screaming at him, I would assume.
Yeah, Spycrab is putting in an absolute shift though on these hard compound tyres and is making the most of them. He's been in the lead of this race now for a good few laps on the oldest tyres in the field, and I think we might see that come to an end very soon. But he has pulled out another few tenths through Maggots and Beckett's, and it could mean that Hamadir might have to wait another few laps before he can even think about making that move.
Spycrab has been so good through Maggots and Beckett's.
He has. As we head back down into Vale once again.
He's in the pits.
He's into the pit lane. So Hamadir will be your race leader once again. Oh, sorry, for the first time. But he's moved from net race lead to race lead now as Alu and Vesely round out the top 3.
So he's gone. He must be going on to mediums, I'd assume, for Spycrab with 10 laps to go, or 9 now. I don't think the softs can last that long.
Unless he's planning to come out ahead of a few guys and maybe just park the bus. But no, it is medium tyres for the Williams driver.
Oh, but meanwhile, Vesely looked to make a move on Alu there. They were side by side for a second. We caught it in the back of the shot. That was very close.
Yeah, Vesely seems to have that pace advantage at the moment, even though Alu's got that assistance of DRS still. And Hamadu just can't seem to get outside of that 1 second mark. But Vesely is looking for every gap that he can look for right now on the back of that Ferrari, but isn't managing to make the move just yet as we head back down the old pit straight into Copse Corner. It's going to be 3 tenths between the pair. I think Alu just seems to have the measure of these guys on the straights at the moment. He seems to be lacking through the corners, but on the straights he's gaining back tenths of a second each time.
He must be running a lower downforce setup because he's been very fast on these straights.
Yeah, but I know Hamadir favours a low downforce setup as well. But yeah, maybe not. Maybe his wings are just a little bit lower. But here goes Vesely down the inside at Stowe. He's going to take the inside line, pushing him right to the limits of the track, and head down into Vale now. Later on the brakes is Vesely, and he puts himself ahead of the Ferrari. Has to take the tighter line, but keeps his Red Bull ahead.
What a move.
Onto the 18th lap, it is Vesely up into P2, and maybe looking to put a bit of pressure on Hamadir on the 9-lap old mediums. Another person to take into consideration here is Desi, who's greatly going to appreciate that move, as it slowed him up enough for him to get in within 3 tenths of a second to the back of the Ferrari now. And Alu, who looked so fast and so in control of this race in the opening laps, is currently falling down the order just lap by lap.
That safety car really has put a dampener on his party that he would have been throwing in his head at the time, because he was looking rapid on their mediums.
Oh,
Vesely was the only person close to him. But here we go now.
What can Hamadir do? He's got to nurse these tyres all the way back to the checkered flag now. And mediums.
Vesely's catching up to him.
Yeah. Desi falling off the back of the mediums are going to be feeling it as well. 5 tenths now.
They're entering lap 9 on them tyres. The mediums are going to start to feel it. So it's going to be very, very touch and go for both the medium runners of the Alfa Romeo pairing. They're going to really have to make something stick. Remember, Vesely does have that 3-second penalty lingering above his head as well, though. as we see Vesely hunting down Hamadir through club. The double right-hander now. Are we looking to try and make something happen? Because the pairing of them are starting to drop Alu off the back in the winding, more downforcey sections.
Absolutely.
As they come now.
Vesley's doing a great job here, considering he had that spin.
Yeah, no,
earlier on in the race.
It was a Spashek who had the spin.
No, Vesley spun on the exit of Maggots and Beckett, remember?
Oh, yes, he
From
really did make a recovery.
Yeah, from P2 as well. But finds himself back into P2 now, but with that 3-second penalty, he's going to make the job of getting past Hamadir and then pulling out a 3-second gap.
And we've got 7 laps to go as they come now through Luffield, and then it's going to be on to... Trying to remember the name of the corner. Can't remember it.
Which one?
The one that they've just come through, which would be Woodcote, as they're now going to come... They've come through Cops, and it's going to be on through Maggots and Beckett's now.
Yeah, and I can see Alex Fox-Johnson just sat there hoping for another safety car so he can make his strategy work. He's pulled out 3 seconds now.
If a safety car comes out, aren't the cars ahead just going to go into softs as well to cover him off?
Yeah, they will, but at least it'll bring him back into it. He's currently 5 seconds and falling off the back of these guys on the hard.
And he has a 3-second penalty.
Yeah.
This 4 ahead really having a very racing time, but Vesely is a lot closer than normal as we come now through Abbey, and then it's going to be through the farm curve.
Yeah,
Vesely all over the back of Hamadir.
Vesely having a great run through Club and Vale, closing up tenths of a second to the back of the Alfa Romeo. But let's see what Hamilton can do here.
Cleanly.
Can he find the traction he needs in those old medium tyres? Can Vesely find the power he needs down the straight? Is that rear wing opens once again, and he's going to be closing and closing and closing to the back of the Alfa Romeo, but nothing doing down this particular straight and into
through Brooklands
and
then Luffield. He's a lot closer again. He closes up a lot through Brooklands and Luffield, then onto Woodcote. Hamid is able to just pull out a little bit of a gap as they're both starting to drop a loo off the back there. And Vesely really needs to get past Hamid quickly because he's got 3 seconds on him.
Yeah, he's running out of laps here to try and pull out some big chunks of time. But I wonder down the hanger straight, has he been saving up his battery? Has he been saving up his talent?
Oh, he's closer than before.
Is a lot closer than before, as that rear wing will open once again, and I'm sure that button is being pressed to deploy the battery as he closes up to the Alfa Romeo, but nothing doing on this occasion.
Lost time on that straight that time, actually. But he's a lot closer now. He might look to make a move into Vale. He just lingers behind instead. Maybe a better exit through Club. Because he's all over the back. He gets a little bit wobbly, though, towards the exit of the second part of Club. And loses 3 tenths to Hamadir there.
And Fox Johnson's into the pit lane. And I think that's going to drop him surely down into at least, 9th position. Around near his teammate.
As Michael has now left the session. The only car currently to DNF this race, sadly. As it's going to be Hamadir still leading Vesely with Alu starting to close up to the back now. Has the mediums of Hamadir fallen off? Because he's really starting to hold up and formed a proper big train here.
He is, but he's still hitting those apexes when he needs to. He's getting the time where it counts. And he's got the speed down the straights as it stands, but these tyres, lap by lap, corner by corner, are going to be losing grip as you head into the final stages of this race.
The more this goes on, the more this affects Vesely with that 3-second penalty. Because it's less and less laps that he can look to pull out a gap.
Very true.
Because Vesely really has the pace here. He's just not able to dispatch Hamadir, but he's closer than before.
It's a lot closer.
And Hamadir's light is flashing. Hamadir looks to cover the inside. Vesely looks to switch back to the outside. Around Stowe they go, side by side. Holds on tight. Who have the inside for Vale here, and I think Vesely's got him now. Vesely takes the lead in the Red Bull.
So Vesely now leading the pack as we head on to lap 22 in the Red Bull for FRR.
5 laps to go, 3 seconds to gain. Can he do it? Is the real question.
And is Vesely, is Alu going to be looking for revenge? But earlier on in the race when Hamadir was stuck behind him for laps on end, and eventually making a move past the Ferrari, but he might be looking with that tyre advantage now to try and take that position back off him.
Hamadier has the DRS as well. So this train now forms behind Vesely. Vesely's going to have to try and make the time as Alu runs a lot deeper. But Vesely seems to really have the pace through Brooklands and Luffield, because he's opening up a big gap over Hamadier as Horak picks up another 5 second for speeding in the pit lane. And meanwhile,
you saw
Fox Johnson
get a big snap there through Copse and have to run a little bit wide onto the exit of the corner. And he's lost him a crucial few tenths of a second as he heads into Magnussen Beckett's.
It's going to be a big defence job now for Hamadier with Alu on the hards. His mediums seeming to fall off. I think Adesi's mediums possibly falling off as well now, because the pairing of them are dropping off the back. Because Adesi is almost a second behind Alu, and this is really playing hands for Vasily, because he's almost a second already. He gained a second in 1 lap. I think this is possible still for Vasily to take the win.
Very true. Can we just confirm that is the 3 second penalty? Just to make sure.
We can indeed. It's a 5 second penalty.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds penalty. I think that was a collision under safety car.
Yes. I don't know who it was who got the 3 second then. It's Fox Johnson, Bobo and Rico who have had the 3 seconds. So that 5 seconds is going to be even more detrimental as Alu goes around the outside of Hamadier and makes the move stick around Brooklands and holds it tight around Luffield. Will Hamadier be able to get an answer back, or is his mediums shot now?
That was a nice clean move there from Alu, and he is closing up to the back of Alu once again. Is Hamadier, but nothing doing on this occasion. I think his tyres are well and truly gone out the window right now.
So now Alu, with the penalty lingering over Vesely's head, is net P1.
That is very true. I wonder if Hamadier is maybe planning on using Alu to drag himself back up, but it doesn't look like Alu's running out of VRS as well, so Vesely at the moment looking like he's got the best pace on the field out there.
Vesely has had pace the whole time. He kept up with Alu on the medium sprint, and now that the hard stint has come out, he's really shown that he can look after them hard and get them into operating window a lot better than Alu could. Because Vesely is starting to drop Alu still.
Yeah, we've seen Alu be struggling on these hards since he got on them. And obviously now Hamadier's mediums jumping out the window. Vesely has looked the fastest on these hard compound tyres since the race started.
Yes. As meanwhile, Fox Johnson will be looking to make a move. He's caught up quite quickly onto the back of a spy crab there.
P2 and P3 for Amethyst, says our founder, Mr. Will Lightning. I know, hopefully it will be. No bias here, of course. This is I am a commentator, obviously.
Max, what is your outlook currently on where your boys are sitting, P8 and P9?
To be honest, I was hoping for something better. P8 and P9 is not the best, but it's still points, so I hope we will not be last.
Very true. The Haas pairing really not having a good running out here today. But Vasily has already dropped Alu by 2 seconds, and Hamadier has dropped off the back of Alu by 1.5 seconds now. Vasily looking like he's going to be our winner on the track. As Adesi on the 1 lap fresher mediums is able to really have Hamadier now in his sights. Do you reckon there might be team orders to let him through, as they do seemingly just swap places?
I think Hamadier's just let him through there, noticing that his paces are definitely a lot better than Hamadier's at the moment. Maybe Hamadier having to use a bit more tyre when he was pushing it in the lead, and Adesi just been able to hang back. But I think these guys are just going to try and stick within the 5 seconds that Vesely is required, and hope for a podium finish, or a double podium finish.
As it stands, they're really dropping off the back, though, of Vesely and Alu. So it might not be a double podium finish here, as Vesely has really found some pace.
Yeah, they're both going to be on the cusp here of whether they keep within that 5 seconds. I think there's about 4.2 7 now.
Let's have a
to
look how close it
Tina Desi.
is. Hamadi will not be on the podium as things stand, as we've got a spinner. I think it's Bobo. Bobo has spun it through club. And I think Adesi doesn't even have it either. We've still got one more lap after this, and Vasily really has the pace.
Yeah, and Fox Johnson's closing onto the back of Spy Crab now on those soft compound tyres.
It's a lot closer, and the only issue for Fox is that 3-second penalty lingering on his head.
Hamadir over Verstappen. Yeah, well, I think anyone's over Verstappen at the moment. But yeah, those mediums have dropped off all of a sudden. I mean, 5.7 seconds to Adesi now and 8.2 to Hamadir. Hamadir's got to be careful he doesn't come under pressure from Spacek in P5.
Yes, but I'd like to point out, Vasily, your current race leader on track, has got almost 2.5 seconds, but sadly with a 5-second time penalty. And Lou is your current race leader with penalties, as Vasily now leads us through. And Fox Johnson is very, very close to the back of Spy Crab. It's almost a second now.
Might be looking to make a last-minute move, but he has got a 3-second penalty. He's got to keep that in mind. So he might not want to take too many risks that will take him completely out of contention for points.
And he is in the DRS now. So he might not have the DRS on this straight, but he might get it on the hanger. But I think Spy Crab's dumped the battery and gapped Fox Johnson by a bit. Fox Johnson's really been pushing. And there's a yellow flag for a Haas who has spun through Magnus Beckett and goes a lap down now. And Vasily almost with 3 seconds on Alu.
But yeah, spinning on the exit of Maggots and Beckett earlier on in this race, having that safety car to recover him, and then go on to the hard tyres to end this race.
Oh, meanwhile,
Hamadir's
Hamadir's tyres have fallen. As Vasily
yeah.
takes your race lead, Hamadir has fallen down. And Alu now, with the penalty, takes the race win.
Has Hamadir got a puncture? I think he does. He must do. Look at... I think that's front left.
Yeah, it's front left puncture.
Hamadir dropping all the way down the order.
But Alu is your race winner here for the semi-racing invitational event and takes victory here at Silverstone. Closely followed by Vesely with that 5-second penalty just letting him down. Adesi hanging on there in the mediums for P3. Spacek and Mashak getting lucky at the end of this race maybe with Hamadir's front left puncture, put him down into P6. Currently at one point leading this race. And Spy Crab, Fox Johnson and Rasmussen and Bobo rounding out a top 10 with Rico and Jakub Horacek the last to finish in P11 and P12, with Michael the only one not to finish this race.
And we're seeing that there's possibly the 5 seconds might possibly get removed.
Very possibly. So Vesely could be your winner here in Silverstone. I think stay tuned on the semi-racing server for more info on that.
Oh, how are we going to do the interviews?
We can switch to the server voice channels.
What's happened?
Hamadir just sent me a photo of his tyres on the last lap, I think. Front left 100%, front right 88, rear left 89, and rear right 78. So it's safe to say his tyres were a little bit dead. But here is your current, I'd say, unclassified race winner, Alu, for Ferrari at the Virtual Racing League, taking victory here at the Semi-Racing Invitational. But that could soon change if FRR's Vesely gets his penalty removed.
Was ghosting meant to be on, Max?
I don't know, to be honest. I haven't specified ghosting, I think.
I'll double check quickly, because they're saying, some of them are saying they're not happy that it wasn't on. Ghosting was on, ghosting was off, and people got damage from it.
I haven't told Alex to leave it off or on, so it was Alex's decision to leave it off.
Fair enough. So, where will we go to do the interview? Is it going to be the interview room?
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the interview room, guys. You coming with Connor?
When I find it, which one is it?
It's on the semi-racing invitational, all the way at the bottom. If you join one of them, I'll move you in.
Broadcast.
If you join broadcast, I can move you.
All right.
And now we wait for the drivers to arrive. Will them come over for an interview?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone can see this room. I couldn't see it.
Ah.
Can you make sure people can see this room, Max?
Yeah.
I couldn't see it when I tried to join. I had to get dragged in.
Oh, that was a nice crack. What is the time? 8:20. 9:20 for some of these guys.
Hamade said he can't see the channel.
Yeah, I'm stupid. It should be fixed now.
There weren't any hydrates, were there, Connor?
No, there wasn't actually.
Let's go. They've saved it all up for you tomorrow.
Lovely. I'm trying to.
I'm gonna at Alu first.
So there you go.
No one can join.
Oh, yeah.
Can they join the interview wait room? Okay.
Yeah. It's working now.
I mean, I have Bobo muted for reasons.
Who you will take first?
I'm hoping that first place.
Yeah.
No, Alu does not want to join. Let's see if Vasily wants to. Come on, boys. If not, I guess we pull up the highest finisher who's in the waiting room. Ah, here he is. Hello, hello.
Hello.
P2 on the track, but with a contentious 5-second penalty. Could it possibly be a P1? You really had the pace out there today.
Yeah, I had.
And you must be over the moon with how your race went from start to finish, other than that one spin. But the safety car coming to bail you out. Very
Yeah.
good performance.
Yeah, the safety car definitely saved me, and I was really lucky to have that one.
But all in all, very dominant performance for yourself. P1 on the track. Do you reckon you can get the 5 seconds overturned?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I'm already making a clip, so I'm pretty sure that I will be P1.
And talk us through the move you did on Alu, because it was nice and clean.
Yeah, it was really. I was really happy after I outed him, and it was really funny and enjoyable to fight with him because it was really clean.
And then you was able to dispatch Hamadir as well afterwards and go for the race lead.
Yeah, after that race lead I took, I just knew that I had the pace to win that race and pull away from the guys behind me. So yeah, and the hearts was really on the edge because I have like 75%, something about that, on the last lap.
Everyone did a monumental stint after the safety car, and the tyres really started to show the hards just not losing pace. Feel like you made the right decision with your strategy call there.
Yeah, I just think that there was no different strategy to make. Like when the safety car came out, I think it was just the only decision to make.
But overall, must be really happy for not just yourself, a valiant team performance from your teammate as well.
Yeah, I know he was P4, I think. So
Yes.
that yes. So then that's a really nice teamwork there. As a result,
And Davies must be over the moon with that one as well.
he definitely is.
So you, FRR winning the first semi-racing invitational must mean something to you.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Well, congratulations on today, and we hope to see you around again soon.
Okay, thank you so much. See
Thank
you
very
later.
much.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.
Who would you like to bring up next, Max?
Let's go with Alex.
All right, I'll let you talk to him as well, as he is your driver.
Alex,
Hello.
how do you feel after this race?
I'm not very happy, if I'm honest.
Not the result you'd have been looking for after how you had been performing in recent events in Silverstone, and multiple times you've been winning the race.
Yeah, I made the mistake. I accidentally switched onto the hards when I was supposed to go onto the mediums, which cost me, probably cost me the race. So then I had to put onto softs later on, and I couldn't catch Spy Crab.
The mediums, there seemed to be only one correct strategy due to the safety car, though, because the mediums also fell off towards the last few laps.
Yeah, I think the safety car timing was a bit unlucky for the guys that started on the mediums. It was perfect timing, but for the guys that started on the hards, it was very unlucky timing. So yeah, unfortunately, didn't get a chance to contend for the race win, but it was fun nonetheless. A lot of funny incidents and yeah, just a lot of fun in general.
And what's next for you in semi racing?
Winning the Amethyst title, I'd say. The constructors and the drivers, which hopefully we can do this year.
I hope to, Alex.
I think everyone does in semi.
Yeah.
Maybe not Ratcliffe, but
Ah, well. I mean, to
maybe
be honest
not.
with you, I don't think Williams is looking pretty unbeatable at the moment. I can't lie.
I was going to say, I don't think Max will be either. He's AlphaTauri TP.
I know. But
no, I mean, I'm not too many points behind Balaj, so I heard he's not turning up to Azerbaijan, so hopefully we can get the jump on him there and hold that lead.
I've heard you're not turning up to Azerbaijan either,
Am I not?
in a different way.
Um,
Not your best track.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. That was not clear whatsoever. But yeah, no, not my best track at all. But I've put in some practice and I'm a little bit better at it now.
So, yes, not the result you'd been hoping for today, but I guess we're going to be seeing you very soon as well.
Hopefully so. Given nothing happens and my wheel doesn't fall off, yes, you shall be seeing me on Friday.
Well, unlucky in your result today, and good luck out there.
Cheers.
I think
Okay.
if nobody else is ahead of him, I think Hammerday wants to come up.
Go for it. I'll let
I
you
don't know
interview
if I
him.
can drag him. You think you
I can do the dragon. He's definitely muted.
Hello.
He's all yours,
Hello.
Connor.
Hello, Governor. Well,
Hello.
first of all, nice tyres.
Bias. What?
Well, I mean, I've brought the screenshot you sent me up on screen. Last lap puncture, was it?
Yep.
When
Just try to imitate Hamilton, you know.
when did it puncture? What part of the lap?
Right. I think it was before Cups.
Oh wow, so it's like more than half a lap basically of
Yeah.
the puncture. So
And right
I mean-
before the worst corner to get a front left
Yeah.
puncture in.
yeah, but I mean falling down from P4 to P6 on the final lap. But the original part, I mean, how it would look difficult to get past Alu in that start of his stint. Looked like he just had the measure of you on the straights, but once he lost that DRS to the Williams, he soon flew past.
Yeah,
him.
I just played it tactically, tried to make him lose his ERS, and eventually, he just made so many mistakes that I was eventually able to get past because he had no more DRS. And yeah, then I just saw that whoever was P1 then pit, so I inherited P1 and I thought, okay, now I'll just save the tires. So I lost a lot of pace, you will have figured. But it just wasn't getting much better, so I realized I was not gonna make it, or I was gonna hit like deep puncture territory, 90%. So I thought, drop the pace massively. When Adesi was behind me, I just let him through because, he's my teammate. I don't want to get a puncture when I'm right in front of him. Turns out he had more tire wear than I had because he had been pushing harder, but he didn't get a puncture and I did, which, yeah, unlucky.
Well, yeah, he
Yeah,
picked a lap later than you as well, so he must have been really pushing or running a aggressive setup. But yeah, unfortunate. But still, P3 and P6. In
Yeah,
the
also I
first,
want to mention like the first stint because I think the first stint was very, very fun because I started in P3 and maintained P3. Wasn't able to stay with the medium runners because they were way too fast. I was like right in front of my teammate and I always tried to manage the gap perfectly to have him have like DRS to defend from the driver behind him who was on mediums so that he wouldn't just get through and blitz us, but while also not getting him too close to have dirty air. So I just tried to manage that with my ERS.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kept him at bay for the entire first stint and didn't lose too much time. I think by the time the safety car came out, you were about on pace with the guys on the mediums. Up ahead.
Yeah, the hearts were coming back at that point, but yeah.
So I
Right
think,
then
if
and
anything, it's probably
safety car.
been unfortunate that the safety car came out.
Yeah, very.
And it properly ruined your strategy. But I mean, it must have been fun. Racing those guys up there in the second half of the race.
Yeah, it
on
was
those
very
medium
fun.
tyres.
Like I didn't know any of these guys, so it was very difficult to analyze how each of these guys races, how they use their ERS, how much downforce do they have, where are they fast, where are they slow. It's really fun just staying behind and studying these guys and just
Yeah, well, it must have been a bit of a switch up, and for the most part, everything looked pretty clean. It didn't look like there was too much wheel banging or even just slight tapping into corners and stuff.
only had one contact while I was managing my tires already with the Red Bull behind it. He just started accelerating way before me.
Was that through Vale?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think I saw that. It just slid
Yeah, I
away.
was just trying to take as little speed as possible through that left-hander,
Yeah.
right-hander, sorry, because that goes very hard on the left side tires, which were like the most affected.
Right.
And he just didn't really, see it coming. I can understand it from his side, but I don't think he got damaged, so all good.
Yeah. Well. I mean, I would say congratulations, but I'm sure you're probably a bit upset with that result. I mean, after leading the
I
race,
think it
and
was a fun race.
yeah, it was
I'm
a
not
fun
upset.
race nonetheless. But yeah, I'm sure you
It
would have been
wasn't too
happy with the
serious
safety
either.
car coming out a few laps later, or just not coming out at all. But still, you were in contention. You showed you had the pace before those tires completely dropped off, and yeah, I mean, still top six.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it was a beautiful race.
good. Well, I'll speak to you in a bit.
Yep.
Anything you want to
See you,
say,
mate.
Luke?
Nope.
I don't know. You handled all the questions I'd have asked.
Okay, great, awesome. Well, thank you for going up, Hamida, and
Thank you for having
I'll
me.
speak to you in a bit.
Goodbye.
All right. I think
Shall we get let's get the Williams pairing both up at the same time.
All right.
Okay.
Boys, solid result, both in the points. Spiker, you made them hard.
Plus ratio to Jono. Oh,
What?
Hello.
yeah, L plus ratio to Jono. That's yeah.
Yeah, Alex is washed.
It's too easy staying ahead of him.
Well, we saw you guys at the start of the race getting quite bogged down and quite swamped by everyone, but you
I
managed
think bogged down is an understatement.
but you managed to climb back up and find yourself both up into the top 8, right?
Yeah, I think. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. Both of us in the top 8.
Well,
And big incident after the safety car restart as well that I believe both of you possibly got caught into. Well, not
No, only
Bobo.
me, only me.
Spiker
Yeah.
was leading it on the hards and bossing it as well, keeping that gap steady.
I thought I had good pace in the 60% hards, but then the medium guy came through like Hamsi or something. I don't know. And then, that was the end of that. In
That was-
hindsight, probably should have double stacked with my teammate, but I just didn't.
Yeah. I was quite surprised the ghosting was off. I thought I was gonna drive through the car, but I just drove straight into him. Yeah, it is what it is.
You believed you had the power to teleport, and the game said no, and
Yeah, I
stopped you in
believed
your
I-
tracks.
I believed I got it, but I didn't got it, unfortunately. But yeah, it is what it is.
well, I don't know if we have any more questions, Luke.
You must be happy, both of you, in the points though. Very competitive field.
Yeah, it was very
Right.
very fast people.
I think if he started mediums, he could probably go up there fighting for the top 5, maybe.
Yeah. I'm pretty
Sad.
sure if I didn't got caught in that incident after the safety car, I could have fought my way back up. But yeah.
I thought I got a pretty good launch off the start as well. Just got stuck behind someone to turn 1, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, does anyone else have anything they'd like to say? I can't think of any more questions.
I don't
Hey
think so.
Luke,
I
Me
just,
how are
neither.
you doing?
I'll
Me-
just commend Spycrab on his performance after the safety car. I mean, those old hards. I mean, you just had a great pace on them to hold their Alu and Hamadir back for so long.
Well, unlucky.
Well, if that's all, then thank you both for coming up, and
No problem.
yeah, we'll hope to see you at hopefully another semi-racing event.
Yeah, exactly. I liked it.
Yep. Well,
Alright.
see you in a bit.
Ciao, guys. Bye bye.
Can I get in bed,
Bye.
please?
Both spells.
Who moved him? Who moved him?
It was not me.
He gone very quickly. I didn't move him. Anyway, I think that's been me, Martin, and I've been joined by the owner of Semi Racing, Max,
Yeah.
and Connor.
And me.
Thank you very much for joining us for this very special event that we got to host. And we hope that there's more of them in the future.
I hope to.
Alrighty, well, see you guys. Well, on the Amethyst Racing account, we'll see you on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for the Tier 3 race, and
Oh.
you get to see Luke crash into a wall. So, congratulations, everybody. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in a bit.